He's the former president and publisher of the Sun Herald, and now he's on the radio. Welcome to Coast View with Ricky Matthews on SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1.
I hope you're having a great day. Welcome to Coast View. Hope things are going well for you. This is the show that celebrates the men and women who are making coastal Mississippi a great place to live, work, and play. And as I communicated to you last week, we're going to spend a little bit more time dealing with the current situation related to the coronavirus. And with that in mind, you can see, for those who are watching on Facebook, that I'm actually in my office at my house. So this is going to be the way it's going to be for the next several weeks as we work to make sure that everybody is safe at our company and around my family. So today we're going to have a special day. We've got two important coast leaders who are going to be joining us. First of all, in the first segment, we're going to have Ashley Edwards, the president and CEO of the Gulf Coast Business Council. And in the second segment, we're going to have Milton Segarra, who is the CEO of Coastal Mississippi Tourism. Essentially, we're going to have a modified Coast View session with Milton. So I look forward to having that conversation. So anyway, Ashley, can you hear me?
Yes, I've got you loud and clear, Ricky.
Good, buddy. It's great to see you this morning, and thanks for joining us. Now, the Business Council has been doing a lot of work to prepare for this. And, you know, as I said in the Coast View session with you before, you're an important leader in coastal Mississippi because you were involved in the hurricane aftermath after Katrina. You had a lot of key important roles. So you know what it's like to assess the situation and to develop a plan to respond to the situation. And I know the Business Council, through its own efforts and through the efforts of its coordination and working with its partners, are beginning to develop plans for assessing the situation and trying to understand what it looks like on the other side of this. So can you bring us up to date on that?
Absolutely. You know, this is something that we have seen coming for a while, and we knew the possibility that this could be very devastating to our economy. Certainly that is proving true, unfortunately. But we really want to serve a few different roles. In the near term, we want to make sure that we're convening information that's necessary for people to be able to make decisions, data, news information on the virus and how to go about your daily lives, information on decisions that are being made at state and local government levels. You know, we've seen more than a 2,000% increase in our page views on Facebook since it began, just putting out information around the clock. So that's been an important part of it. As we move forward, however, we're really going to be working on trying to convene resources around solving the problem. Certainly the federal stimulus will be a big part of that, but we have a long way to go, and we know it's going to be a tough road. So with that in mind, you know, we want to make sure that we're in a place that we can add value, that we can be relevant to the solutions that are going to be necessary, and that we can ensure that we get the maximum possible value out of all the resources that are likely to come to help not only coastal Mississippi, but also our business community here.
So Ashley, give us an idea of the partners that you're working with.
So we actually formed, kind of interesting hindsight being 2020, we formed a partnership between coastal Mississippi, Milton, who's going to be coming on next, the Gulf Regional Planning Commission, and the Gulf Coast Community Foundation, along with the Gulf Coast Business Council. And we actually had formed that partnership a few months ago, really wanting to respond ultimately to the needs of the BP spending, the oil spill spending that's going on the coast. And we've sort of now been able to transition that into a response mechanism for this event. Today, actually, as soon as I get off with you, we're going to be convening a call of partners from across the Mississippi Gulf Coast, chambers of commerce, other organizations, nonprofits, to make sure that we're all working together under a common framework, under a common vision, and under a common strategy so that we can be most effective in doing what's necessary both in the short term and the long term to ensure that we can come back in the way that we all hope that we will.
So we've got all the issues that we would normally face after a hurricane, for example, and that is
Right.
that you've got companies needing, small business that needing assistance. You have frankly, every business in some way or another needing some kind of assistance. So there's the short term, here's how you get assistance kind of stuff. And then there's the long-term stuff that has to do with the recovery plan coming down from the federal government and all that's attached to that. So there's a lot to really work to get your hands around, isn't there?
Well, I think that it's an interesting comparison because people say, well, this is not a hurricane. We don't have damage and destruction. But from an economic standpoint, it's very similar to a hurricane because everybody is impacted. It sort of doesn't discriminate. It doesn't discriminate based on who you are or where you live or what sort of business you're in. Everyone is impacted. And so it feels very similar to the strategy that we had to put together after Hurricane Katrina, because we know it's got to be a comprehensive recovery for households, for small business, for large business. It's across the board. And I feel like we're going to be doing many of the same types of things that we did after Katrina. The good news is we don't have to rebuild all the infrastructure of life like we did 15 years ago, which gives us actually a head start. And in some ways, we have more practice at doing this than almost anywhere else in the world. So I feel very optimistic about how we will come together to try to solve these issues.
Well, the good news is that the leaders of the coast, who, as you say, unfortunately have tremendous experience with dealing with disasters, have begun to communicate and understand the importance of getting together soon and early to not only marshal forces, but to get on the same page so that we can develop a common roadmap for our recovery. And every seems like every business on the coast is going to need some assistance of one way or another. And we're going to, the beauty of this is that we've got the organizations that are charged with, each really key area of the coast is coming together to understand, how do we move forward and what might the ramifications of that be. So I appreciate your leadership on that, Ashley. You there, Ashley?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
You went out for a second. I've got you now, Ricky. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, that's okay. So, it's interesting in the few minutes we have left, actually, I just want to spend a few minutes. The president yesterday started to shift gears in a way, moving not away from the situation at hand, the spread of the virus and what we need to do to keep our families safe, but he's initiated another part of the conversation, which is how to begin to think about how to ramp the economy up. I mean, these two conversations can happen simultaneously. He's not saying that we're going to forget that we've got this terrible spread. If we don't start a conversation about ramping the economy up, we're going to have a generational problem to deal with as it relates to trying to get the economy back to where it was. Don't you agree?
Absolutely. I don't think that most people have gotten their head around yet just how economically devastating this is going to be, but not just for Mississippi or just for our region or even just for our country, but for the world. Everyone is dealing with this. And it's even yet to be seen how this is going to impact emerging markets around the world. Places like India, which are just starting to see an increase in the spread. And, we have a global economy now. And so, there are things that we can do in the United States that certainly can help lessen the impact here. But until we're able to solve this on a worldwide basis, our economy is going to be affected. And of course, that's going to affect the local economy. And so, we really have quite a challenge in front of us here to sort of strike this balance between making sure that we are trying to eliminate the virus from circulation as quickly as possible, but also trying to get the economy back up and running. And, what's really important for an area like the Mississippi Gulf Coast, because tourism is such a big part of our economy, it's not just getting our local economy back up and running, getting our local people back up and out, but it's getting the visitors to return, because that's really going to be the force that will determine our economic trajectory in the long term. And so until tourism really starts to restart in earnest, that's going to be an issue that we're going to have to continue to deal with. And I know Milton's probably going to have some good data about what they're seeing in their industry, but it's something that we've got to watch very closely. And of course, the other side of it is true as well. As a region that brings a lot of people in from outside, that can be a difficult thing when you've got a contagious pathogen type situation like we do now. So there are a number of balances that are going to have to be achieved. I think all of us want to see the reopening happen as quickly as it possibly can, understanding that we also want to see the virus start to be tamped down a little bit and not circulating as much as it is now in our community.
One of the issues that you and I've discussed and I've written about is that there won't be a moment in the near future or even further out into the future when someone waves a flag and says it's all clear, because
Right.
each city's spread of the disease is on a different timeline. So it may be possible, based on how the trajectory looks and whether you're on the other side of the curve in certain cities, to begin to ramp things up while still protecting the vulnerable, et cetera. So I think that at the end of the day, that's what he's suggesting. And he's certainly not saying he's going to do anything yet. He's just simply saying that we're going to try to get our arms around it and try to figure out how we can stage this. Anthony, actually we're at the end of our time together. I look forward to continuing this conversation. I really appreciate you taking a minute to join us today.
My honor, Ricky. Thank you for all the work you're doing. Really appreciate you as well.
Okay, buddy. We'll see you after the break with Milton Segura.
Gallo here. Did you realize that in times like these, the three things Mississippians are vilified for, in the final analysis, are the three most important: a commitment to honor, faith, family, and flag, like we have so many times in our history before, for all Mississippians of all faiths. And when this is over, and it will be over, those three things will bring us through again: faith, family, and flag.
Pine Belt Dermatology is trusted by more than 20,000 of your neighbors as their dermatology provider. And the great news is Pine Belt Dermatology is always accepting new patients. Pine Belt Dermatology and Skin Cancer Center is the easiest provider to access throughout the Pine Belt, with offices in Hattiesburg, Petal, Ellisville, and Biloxi. No matter where you and your loved ones are, Pine Belt Dermatology is in a neighborhood near you.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company helps you customize your home insurance so you only pay for what you need. Unlike things you paid for you didn't need, like the Vacnado 2000. A Wi-Fi connected vacuum that uploads Dust Bunny data to the cloud for real-time optimization. Whatever that means. But really, it's just a very expensive doggy chew toy. With Liberty Mutual, get customized home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
For the ones who forge metal and those with nerves of steel. For the ones who burn the midnight oil and the ones who rise with the sun. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, with over 250 local branches and a team of specialists available 24/7 to help you solve any challenge. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Tired of burning your hands on your steering wheel? You know how hot Mississippi summers can be. Beat the heat with Solar Control, the Coast exclusive 3M window film dealer since 1975. 3M window film rejects up to 90% of the sun's heat and 99% of damaging UV rays, keeping you cool and comfortable year-round. Solar Control can tint most cars starting at only $180. Visit Solar Control in Ocean Springs on Bechtel Boulevard. Call 872-0805 or visit solarcontrolinc.com.
This is Home Answers Radio, and my guest today is Trey Jackson of Bulldog Construction. Trey, if a business has uneven sidewalks, they're asking for trouble. Would you agree?
Lynn, they are. It's a trip hazard and it needs to be fixed. Our foam technology can level those uneven walks without having to lay down any new concrete. Much easier and more affordable.
Trey, my wife tripped over one of those and skinned her knee up.
She was fortunate. Call Bulldog Construction at 601-853-4242.
His love for the coast is why he's here. It's Coast View with Ricky Matthews on SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1.
Welcome back to Coast View. This is Ricky Matthews, and we just had a terrific conversation with Ashley Edwards, the CEO of the Gulf Coast Business Council, who gave us a feel for what's happening in terms of their collaborative efforts to get a handle on, where we are now and where we're headed. And it was really good at it. And yeah, he mentioned that Milton Segura, who's the CEO of Coastal Mississippi Tourism, was also a member of that team. So I'm privileged to have Milton join us now. Good morning, Milton.
Ricky, good morning. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Delighted to be with you. Thank you so much.
That's good, bud. Sorry we couldn't get the video up, but we have a picture of you showing for the Facebook audience.
That works.
Milton, I was thinking about you this morning. Yeah, I was thinking about you this morning. It's really interesting that you have the experience you have in Puerto Rico and that you're now in South Mississippi. You're also involved in international destination organizations. So you have a really good perspective on sort of where the starting point is in terms of how to help us get ourselves out of this mess. So you found yourself once again in a key role. Is that the way you see it?
Well, actually, yes, but I have to tell you, in this particular situation, we're so blessed that we have a phenomenal group of team members in Coastal Mississippi, a great leadership in our board, and what we're seeing is the support from all the communities. That's key. What we will have to do is, and believe me, this is so different to any of the other crises or situations I have ever seen or be part of. But in this one, besides the fact that it's this virus, what we need to do is to make sure people is safe. There's nothing more important right now. We're going to deal at some point with tourism, with visitors and all of that. But right now, the most important thing is to control the virus and keep everybody safe. Keep our community members, our talent safe, because we're going to need all that people in the near future. And having said that, the idea is, and this is very simple, what we're doing, Ricky. Number one is we're conveying the message to our visitors and our clients that safety is number one priority. Number two, we're encouraging people not to cancel their vacations, but postpone. We'll be ready. And when they are ready to travel, we'll be here waiting for them. So this is the logistic behind the message that we're trying to portray. And what we're doing is keeping our destination visible with a different type of messaging, not necessarily inviting people to come and visit right now, but inspiring them that when the moment comes, they keep Coastal Mississippi top of mind awareness. And when that happens, and the fact of the matter, Ricky, is that most of the surveys and reports that are available right now are saying that the initial growth in business, in travel, will be people driving to destinations instead of flying to destinations. And for us, that's good because 80% of our visitors comes every single day by driving a car or driving an RV or coming in another way other than flying. So that presents a good opportunity for us. We will know exactly when is that limited window to go back and really look for a strong message and promote the destination. But in the meantime, we are there with our visitors. We want to make sure they're safe. And when the moment is right and people want to start travel again, we'll be there waiting for our experience, our unique communities, our special experience, and our southern hospitality that people love.
You said it well, Milton, that one of the competitive advantages we've always had is our people. The fact that our people are inviting, as you know, and we've talked about this on the show many times, that South Mississippians in general are some of the most generous in the United States. And then on the coast where we've had to deal with so many disasters, there's a special here of overcoming the current situation that will play to our favor. And I would say you're also lucky in a way that you have such partners to work with, not only the that's involved in your organization, but as you think about the Community Foundation, the Gulf Coast Business Council, the chambers, all these organizations are led by people who have been here before, unfortunately, and have a sense of what we have to do. So you don't have any reluctant partners at the table. You've got people that are willing to burn the midnight oil to difference. That's what you're seeing, isn't it?
Absolutely, and let me tell you, Ashley Edwards is one of the top leaders in our coast. We work hand in hand with him and the Gulf Coast Business Council. It's a phenomenal group, great leaders committed to their companies and our communities. And working with them, it's a privilege, and we're doing good things that at the end, in the short term, I should say, it will bring good dividends to the coast. We have a great relationship. We have a lot of plans together, and I'm sure it will pay off.
Yeah, I think that is very clear. In all my conversations with them, they are thrilled to have you at the table. And as you probably know, after the Hurricane Katrina, I was the vice chairman of the Governor's Commission on Recovery, Rebuilding, and Renewal, and had responsibilities for tourism, developing the tourism plan. And I'm excited that because in a lot of ways, Milton, and you see this from your experience here already, we operate from a position of strength. We have tremendous amenities. We have some of the beautiful in coastal Mississippi that some of the best in the world are here, and our people are great. We're in a position where when things start to move, we can get back on our feet pretty rapidly because we're not having to rebuild structure. We're not having clean our beaches and all of that. We've got a good place to start from. Is that the way you see it?
Well, yes, that's the basic for us, the basic foundation to recover after this. We don't know how soon the business will come. This is a global monster that is impacting all industries, and in our case, the impact for the states, for our nation, is estimated to be a little bit more than $800 billion, with the potential impact of cutting more than 4.6 million jobs and cut $55 billion in taxes to the cities and the taxes on the federal government. So we're talking about a serious situation. Just to put you in perspective, Ricky, right after 9/11 and the big 2008 recession, our industry took approximately 4 years to come back to the levels prior to the event. So we don't know exactly how much it's going to take, but people are saying because of this particular situation, people will be eager to travel, and we'll start doing first by visiting the areas close to where they live, driving, vacations. Staycations will happen tremendously as well. And I have heard that we should see a good spike again within 24 months, at least from the beginning of the business starting to come back. So we have a serious situation in front of us. We have the right type of assets in terms of being a great southern tourism destination. We have a good pipeline of projects that we hope they will remain. As of right now, coming to the coast is one of the best experiences in the South. The type of experience we can offer is second to none. And as soon as we see the opportunity, we're going to go directly to our consumers, bring the right message and perspective, and start bringing visitors again. In any given year, the coast will receive more than 13.5 million visitors, Ricky. That's a lot, and we are at least 1/3 of all the tourism and hospitality business in the state of Mississippi. So if the coast do good, the state of Mississippi do better in terms of tourism. So that's important and the critical component that we need to understand, so people can come, visit, and have a better economic impact not only to the coast but the rest of the state of Mississippi. Hello?
Having some technical difficulties with Ricky Matthews. We've got disconnected from him, Milton. We'll try and get him connected here in just a few minutes. I'm not really sure what just happened, but I guess that's the nature of the business these days. We're going to try and hold out until we go to the break, and then we'll get back with Ricky Matthews here in just a minute.
the Singing River Electric and Coast Electric Newsroom. Your news now.
In Moss Point, a city worker has tested positive for the coronavirus, prompting Mayor Mario King to shut down the utility and planning departments for 14 days. This confirmed case will force a dozen employees in both departments to self-quarantine for 14 days, too. In Gulfport, a third person from the Seavey base has tested positive for COVID-19. A trainee sailor tested positive back on March 18th. He's now under a 14-day quarantine along with service members. The Mississippi Department of Revenue has pushed back the deadline to file and pay individual income tax plus corporate income tax to May 15th. The extension does not apply to sales tax, use tax, or other tax types. The federal tax deadline had already been pushed back to July 15th. At Monday's Harrison County Board of Supervisors meeting, it was determined that a curfew of any type is not needed at this time. They did agree, however, to limiting gatherings on Harrison County beaches to 10 people or less moving forward. From the SuperTalk FM Newsroom, I'm Kyle Curley.
Favorite thing about my street?
It's quiet.
Safe. The people.
We rely on each other.
And we rely on our Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
The co-op isn't just about electricity.
It's about power.
The power of information, efficiency,
safety,
technology.
That's why whenever I have a question about energy,
I always call my Touchstone Energy Cooperative first.
Because in my community,
I am the co-op.
And the co-op
is me.
Brought to you by Coast Electric and Singing River Electric, your Touchstone Energy Cooperatives.
When the power goes out, you feel helpless. Stumbling in the dark, especially during a hurricane, is dreadful. Bay Motor Winding wants you to have your comfort and independence. A Briggs & Stratton standby generator system from Bay Motor Winding will automatically power your entire home, keeping the lights, appliances, and cooling running smoothly. Select Briggs & Stratton generators come with a 10-year parts and labor warranty. Visit BayMotorWinding.com before the power goes out.
Just like money in your pocket, that's super fun. When you trade with us, you always get our best. Super deals are wide, whether you sell or buy. We cash checks, we pay bills, we make loans like no one will, and help you keep your pockets filled. Just like money in your pocket, that's super fun.
At Baldwin Subaru, we have a lot to love. We love that we've been family-owned and operated in Covington for 70 years. We love offering free shuttle service and encore deliveries with all new Subaru purchases. But more than anything, we love helping you purchase the car of your dreams. Become part of the Baldwin family, and you'll have a lot to love too. Stop by Baldwin Subaru in Covington during the Subaru A Lot to Love event from March 3rd to March 31st.
So you probably already know Adventures Pub and Spirits has won awards for local favorites Hangout on the Coast and Best Bar on the Coast, but you may not know that Adventures also features an excellent lunch special menu Monday through Friday. Homemade lasagna, burgundy beef tips, chicken fried steak, shrimp creole, and more for only $8.95. Oh, my personal favorite, the seafood pie loaded up with lump crab meat, shrimp and cheese baked in a flaky pie crust. Adventures Pub and Spirits, 1 block north of the Hard Rock, next door to City Hall on Lemuse.
Hey, I'm the embarrassment emoji. The apology emoji, and I noticed you're using us a lot lately. Instead, use the new C2C People Pay from the Citizens Bank and make splitting the check at dinner, paying soccer fees, the babysitter, anyone as easy as sending a text. You get more happy emojis, and we get time alone with that cute meme.
Introducing C2C People Pay from the Citizens Bank. Pay your share, your family, your friends, the easy way. Member FDIC.
In the house, none other than the executive director of MDA, Glenn McCullough.
No less than CNBC last week said Mississippi is taking the lead along with North Carolina, I think in Montana and Rhode Island. They mentioned Ingalls Shipbuilding and the integration of young students into the workplace. Was with the Toyota Wellspring Fund, with the principal from New Albany High School. He said our 10th graders right now work on equipment that's in the Toyota Corolla assembly plant in Blue Springs. And they are so energized and excited, they cannot wait to go to work and assemble automobiles.
All of our work on drones, all of our work on building helicopters, our radar system in forest, automobile entry. There's a lot of good things going on that you only hear here because most of the media out there would not tell you.
We tune into the Paul Gallo Show, Super Talk, Mississippi.
I'll use that as a promo. Thank you, sir.
From the Gallo Archives, The Mississippi Power Weather Center. Your weather now.
Mostly sunny and breezy this afternoon. High around 82. Wind gust up to 25 miles an hour. Partly cloudy tonight with the low near 68. Mostly sunny tomorrow. High back in the low 80s tomorrow night. Partly cloudy. Mid-60s for the low on Thursday. Plenty of sunshine. High 81. Visit MississippiPower.com/ways to save to learn about programs and resources that can help you save energy and money on your electric bill.
He's the former president and publisher of the Sun Herald, and now he's on the radio. Welcome to Coast View with Ricky Matthews on SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1.
Welcome back to Coach View. We have Milton Segura here, who's the CEO of Coastal Mississippi Tourism. Milton, you're there, right?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Good. Sorry, we had a little technical issue toward the end as we work out some of the kinks of doing this remotely. Milton, I want to take a few minutes and kind of retrace your steps a little bit. Why don't you kind of tell us, where you came from and a little bit about your life?
Well, thank you so much for that opportunity, Ricky. First, I'm so happy to be here. I mean, it's for me and my family. This is a great place to live. This is a great place to work, and we're so happy our daughter and our kids, when they come and visit, they see this beautiful place in earth that we call home here in coastal Mississippi. But prior to live here for the last 2 years, a little bit more than 2 years, we used to live in Puerto Rico. I was born and raised in Puerto Rico, beautiful island in the Caribbean. And my family has been in the tourism business for
Milton?
All our guests. I'm here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and I was born and raised, as I told you, in the southwest coast of Puerto Rico. My family has been in business, in the tourism business, for the last 75 years. So all our family grew in this industry. So we see this as a lifestyle, not as a job. And I had the opportunity to study in Puerto Rico, complement and continue education in London at the Ashridge Business Institute, as well as the University of Cornell in New York, all of them related to finance and tourism. And I used to work for the government of Puerto Rico, the tourism company. I was the executive director of the tourism company. Then also in tourism, I was the president and CEO of the private DMO in Puerto Rico. At that time, Mid Puerto Rico, that was the name. And I spent most of my time, but when I finished government in Puerto Rico in the year 2004. In Puerto Rico, there is a law that you cannot go back to the industry from where you were selected when you were called upon to serve in government. And so you have to wait at least 1 year to come back. So I said, well, I have to do something. I have to put a plate of food every single day to my family and pay for the roof. And so what we did is I started with a company in Puerto Rico in the healthcare, and I ended up working for the largest healthcare conglomerate in Puerto Rico for 6 years. And then I came back to the tourism industry, and from that point, I came to coastal Mississippi. And in that has been 32 years of my life in a couple of minutes that I share with you. So that's pretty much in a nutshell, that's from where I came and where I am right now.
So, Milton, have you been engaged in conversation with your national and international tourism organization? And if so, sort of what's the conversation that's going on with those groups?
Yes, that's a great question. I'm privileged to be part of the board of directors of the United States Travel Association, which is the largest association that deals with the public policy and the overall priorities of our industry that is communicated to the Department of Commerce, Brand USA, and the White House. And also, I'm part of the board of the Destinations International Foundation, which is the organization that most of the DMOs around the world are part of. And in those Destinations International Foundation and U.S. Travel Association, the goal has been to identify what's going to be the impact, economic impact to our industry, and come up with specific plans to be recommended to be included as part of the economic stimulus package that Congress is revising right now, and we hope that that gets passed. Those recommendations has been the result of the conversation of the U.S. Travel Association plus other many important tourism organizations and certainly Destinations International. But right now, there's nothing more important across the board. Let's make sure we finish with this virus, we put this behind, and we reignite the industry. Airlines, cruise lines, hotels, restaurants, tours, all that we need to make sure that we can continue. And we have to keep in mind, Ricky, that before this coronavirus, our industry was in a growing path of more than 10 years. So that was very remarkable. But now we'll have to go back to the drawing board and start again, and I'm sure we'll do.
Yeah, it is a remarkable position of strength that the industry works from. You know, it's very, we find ourselves in a tough moment in time, but we're lucky in that you're able to be directly connected to organizations that are looking at how tourism is being affected, not just in the United States, but around the world, and what are the kinds of things that we need to do to get out of this. You know, I also respect the fact that you're really focused, as you said in the beginning, on we're going to figure the tourism thing out. We do operate from a position of strength, but right now the most important for us to do, because if we do this well, we can get on the other side of this faster and get life back to normal again. And that is keep our families safe, practice social distancing, do all the things we have to do to keep the spread of this disease to a minimum, so that we can begin to flatten that curve and begin to see what life looks like on the other side. Now there may be some changes. I mean, I'm sure you're beginning to contemplate what some of those changes might be, but the reality is focusing on being safe, focusing on making sure that everybody is social distance. Probably one of the most important things we do is protect our families, but then move tourism to we can get started on a new track. Don't you see it that way?
Oh, absolutely, Ricky. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of changes. Just take an example. Right after the 9/11 attacks, we saw unprecedented changes in the way you were checking into an airport. So this coronavirus is at the same level, but now in a different perspective. Instead of terrorism, now it's healthcare. And the fact of the matter, Ricky, is that nowadays, when people is traveling, they consider two more things rather than which airline I'm going to use or which hotel I'm going to be staying at or what destination I'm going to visit. Travelers are considering what about safety and what about healthcare concerns. Those are two that are atop the list of consideration. And after this, it's going to be more relevant to visitors. And people will want to travel to, obviously, destinations that are safe in all senses, destinations that are prepared to handle any potential situation. Right now, no one can avoid or say nothing is going to happen in my destination. But if you can convey the message that whatever happens in your destination, you'll have the assets and the people and the resources to handle whatever situation, people will feel more self-assured, and they will certainly consider your destination. So it's a different and it's a new ball game, Ricky, and we will have to wait, learn, get close to the visitor, to learn about the new consumer behavior, how they want us to engage with them, how they're going to be buying, how they want to change the experience when they go to the destinations. Are there going to be more time, or there are going to be shorter vacations? So all that type of things will come in the next 6 to 12 months, and we will have to learn and readapt. You know, it's amazing. Sometimes you have to learn, unlearn, and then relearn, and that's what we're going to do. And
well, it is a challenge, and it is the reality of where we are. And Ashley and I were talking about in the first segment that there's not going to be a point in time when someone just raises the flag and says, "Okay, it's all safe now. We can move on." this thing will linger for some period of time. And even if we seem to have knocked it in the bud, so to speak, people are still going to be concerned. So, you're about being able to adjust and understand the realities of what it takes to be safe, and to send the message to people that we get that, and that we've begun to make adjustments in our approach. Will play to our favor, because we're them in a position secure to come here. The other thing that you mentioned at the beginning, which I think is seriously important, and that is that always this has been the case, that a high percentage of the people here drive here. And I think you said 80% of the people who come here drive here. It may be possible that percentage is going to continue to increase, because people want to control the environment that they're in, and they'll take advantage of that opportunity. So within the context of that reality that people like to drive, and that you're going to be focused on keep them safe, we should be able to reassure them, and this should be a real viable alternative for them going forward. You see that clearly, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. That's the game plan, Ricky. We will certainly communicate. First, we haven't disappeared from the top of mind awareness of our clients. We have opted to pause our paid advertising, but our organic social media platform, it's more active than ever. But we have a different message, but we're just keeping it in front of their mind.
Let's talk about where we go from here going forward after the break. This is Milton Segura from Coastal. Back in just a second.
Are you ready to invest in your future and work with a Southern brand you know and trust? Jenny King, the king of clean, is in very high demand right now in this area. So we're looking for motivated, customer-oriented people who want to pursue the dream of working for themselves, but not by themselves. Go to JennyKingCleans.com now and see how our proven track record can help you become financially independent with a company that has been cleaning for over 30 years. That's JennyKingCleans.com.
Jenny King, the king of clean.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company helps you customize your home insurance so you only pay for what you need. Unlike things you paid for you didn't need, like the Vacnado 2000. A Wi-Fi connected vacuum that uploads Dust Bunny data to the cloud for real-time optimization. Whatever that means. But really, it's just a very expensive doggy chew toy. With Liberty Mutual, get customized home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
For the ones who forge metal and those with nerves of steel. For the ones who burn the midnight oil and the ones who rise with the sun. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, with over 250 local branches and a team of specialists available 24/7 to help you solve any challenge. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Want to escape the boring? Do you like puzzles and crucial thinking? Visit 103.1 FM SuperTalk's Facebook page to buy your 4-pack of tickets to Escape This Biloxi for just $40. Escape This Biloxi is a locally owned attraction that is fun for all ages, where you can choose your exciting escape adventure. There's the Clue Room, your favorite board game come to life. Or try to make your way through Pirates Plunder, where pirates have left a treasure of gold bars at the infamous Port Royal. You must hurry, though, before the descendants of those pirates show up to stop you. Arr! Your objective is to solve all the puzzles, clues, and codes within the room to make your escape before time runs out. You'll have 1 hour. Escape This is by reservation only, so go to escapethisbiloxi.com to view available themes and times. Think you got what it takes to escape a room in 60 minutes or less? Choose your group of 4 and go to 103.1 FM SuperTalk's Facebook page to buy your 4-pack of tickets to Escape This for just $40.
Ugh, I've
got to get that fixed.
Uneven driveways causing headaches? Helms Polyfoam will fix it without tearing up your driveway in the process. We inject Polyfoam under settled concrete to stabilize it in a matter of minutes, not days. Polyfoam is used on runways, railways, and highways, so there is no question it will support your driveway. We also repair seawalls, sidewalks, pond dams, retaining walls, and unstable soil. Visit HelmsPolyfoam.com or call Helms Polyfoam at 601-966-7821.
From the Gallo Archives.
In the House, first time since 2014 Senate race, Chris McDaniel. Looking back on the election 2014, if Chris McDaniel had not so vehemently rejected the result after the election and marched on, you would today be a viable candidate, either for lieutenant governor or for governor.
I thought what occurred there was beyond the pale. They called me a Klansman. They called me a racist. They called me the most despicable things in the world, and we know good and well there were crossover votes that occurred, and the evidence was strong.
You ever talk to Thad Cochran after that?
I tried on several occasions.
Oh, is that right?
You know, he never did return my call, and I always wanted him to know that I respected him as an individual, but the disagreements didn't change that respect that I had for him.
Are you looking forward to the next session?
Yes, sir, very much so. It's the first time in some time I'm not going to be in timeout. The powers that be have a way of punishing if you step out of line, so to speak. You know that.
I know that because George Flaggs taught me that.
Right, so.
From the Gallo Archives, this is Coast View with Ricky Matthews on SuperTalk Mississippi.
Welcome back to Coast View. We've got Milton Segura, the CEO of Coastal Mississippi Tourism, on with us. Milton, welcome back. You there, Milton?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so what I thought we would do in this final segment is give people an idea of the structure of coastal Mississippi. Some may not be aware that the structure has changed over the last couple of years. So why don't you kind of give them a feel, who it represents and how it's structured?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the last question? I lost you there.
Yeah, that's okay. So tell us a feel, give us a feel for the structure of the organization, who it represents, and how it's designed, because I know it's a new structure over the last couple of years, and people may not be aware of who you represent.
Yes, I think our organization, Ricky, is an example of how communities and elected officials can work. Our organization is the result of a lot of effort from the local community to create one organization to represent the entire coast, the three counties, Jackson, Harrison, and Hancock. And I think that is, so far, the results are very good. It's unfortunate to say, Ricky, but the first 2 months of this year, January and February, were the best 2 months in the last 5 years for the coast. We were going in a very nice direction to have a banner year, but that's what life is all about. You have challenges and you have to deal with them. But the organization is very simple. We work with a room tax. So the money that our visitors pay, a portion of that will come to us and we'll reinvest in the market to keep bringing more people, create more economic development, and create jobs for the community. And normally what we do is we promote the destination within a region, which is pretty much 5 or 6 hours or less in driving time. And we have very specific and critical fly markets in which, in conjunction with the Gulfport Biloxi International Airport, we work to develop. Obviously, we are promoting the coast in the places like Atlanta because of Delta, Charlotte and Dallas because of American Airlines, Houston because of United. But we also have a phenomenal network of charters flights that is Sun Country and Allegiant, and we promote in those markets. And based on data that we're able to collect, we identify the sources of additional fly market that is coming, and then we promote over there. So it's a combination, like 75% of the efforts will go to the driving market in terms of dollars, and the 25% goes to those fly markets to keep the number of visitors that we have, which I mentioned is like 13.5 million a year.
Well, that's terrific. I had Clay Williams on last week from the.
Oh, he's a great guy.
Biloxi, International Airport Authority. And he also talks about the numbers, how much they were up then to this on a roll, so to speak. And, look forward to obviously getting on the other side of this themselves. But, it seems South Mississippi was really moving in the right direction in so many different ways. You think about the structure of your organization, whereas it used to be sort of Hancock County did their piece and Jackson County did their piece, and then Harrison County did its piece related to tourism. To have everyone on the same now related to under the umbrella of coastal Mississippi really has provided a great opportunity for us to speak with one voice, particularly externally, because the people who want to come here want to come to enjoy the coast. It has a lot to offer, and it's just not Harrison County. It's everything from state line to state line that makes this such a special place.
Absolutely.
We move forward with that single voice, with working with our partners, that all of these pieces fit together pretty well to put us in a position of strength, so that we can, so that we can recover as quickly as possible. I know you see that as well. That's the theme of this conversation, isn't it?
Absolutely. And we have to keep in mind, Ricky, when visitors are coming, they really don't know if they're in Harrison County or Hancock or Jackson. If they just cross the line between Long Beach and Gulfport, or from Gaucher to Ocean Springs. They just came to a beautiful place. They just want to have the best experience ever. They just want to get the best return on the dollar they're putting in our coast. And the way we are doing this is to make sure they see all the experiences and the opportunities, the different people, the different communities we have under one name, which is Coastal Mississippi.
Milton, I wish I could have been in the car with you when you drove the coast of Mississippi and went to see the historic downtown area of Bay St. Louis, and then made that drive across the bridge into Pass Christian and then on through Long Beach and Gulfport and Biloxi, and then over to Ocean Springs and beyond, to see how we're this collection of incredible and unique communities that make this such a special place. I bet you were like, man, I love this.
Well, actually, my first place, I came to Biloxi for an interview, then they took me to Ocean Springs, and that was it. I fell in love with the experience. And I can tell you, and we can do it, Ricky. We do it every weekend. My wife and my daughter, we drive every single weekend through US 90. That's one of the most beautiful drives in the US. Everybody can do it.
Well, Milton, we're getting to the end of our time together. I just want to thank you for taking this time. Apologize for the few technical issues we faced, but we'll get the kinks out of the situation, which we have to do Ricky, at least for the next several weeks.
Thank you so much,
you
Ricky.
for your leadership.
You're a great leader for our coast, and I'm really honored to be part of this effort with you. Thank you so much.
Okay, buddy. We'll talk to you again probably next week. Have a great day, buddy.
Excellent. Bye.